All right, good morning, friends. It's been a minute since I have done a Get Ready With Me. And it's been probably since I was in Italy. And I gotta tell you, it's been a wild past couple weeks. I have been in my Tony Robbins courses, which have been incredible for my learning and growth. And for those of you who know who Tony Robbins is, my goodness, I am trying to return to a little bit of self-care. And I think this issue of self-care is a really important one because sometimes when we're just pushing so hard, we don't even take those few minutes to just look at ourselves in the mirror. I've been working a lot on authentic beauty and what we mean. We won Best of Brows for the 17th year. And we won twice this year. We won for the Atlantan, and then we won again for Best Self. And I don't take that lightly. Brows are really the most important feature of the face. And if we're going to do nothing, we do brows. And so I haven't even done my own color or had my own brows done. And if you haven't been following, my son is getting married on September 13th. So I am switching my focus back to myself. I think that's the most important thing when we go on these weeks. And I know those of you who your kids are going back to school and that your kids are going to college, that to just be able to go, okay, I can take care of myself. And I planned this months and months ago that I was going to go out of town this weekend. So I am leaving to go on vacation with my husband and spend a couple of days in the Dominican Republic to focus on myself and my husband and to get a few days off the grid. And that is the one thing that I do recommend to my people whose kids are, going to school, and particularly my moms whose kids have just left for college. I know that many of you have planned vacations, but the number one advice that was given to me when my daughter was leaving for college was get out of here. Go, don't be home, don't be on social media. And I have said this repeatedly to people, and people have come back to me and said, oh, thank you. And this comes from that advice being given to me, when I sent my kids off to school, and you're like, wow, they're gone. And then you look at yourself and you're like, how long has it been since I've actually paid attention? And so, I feel like myself with this launch of Genuist and my launch and, just working so hard. I've been seeing 15 people a day in the studio, and I'm about to adjust my schedule so that I can do all the things that are really important to me. And I think taking that time to really the planning time and to go, what really matters to me right now? What really matters, and how can I incorporate making sure that the things that are important to me in all the categories of my life, whether it's your appearance, whether it is your connections and friendships and your family. My birthday was last week, and I knew I was going to be in business mastery. I knew it from the beginning of the year. I'm a Leo, so we like to celebrate our birthdays. I'll be celebrating my birthday in the Dominican. But like I was saying, when this planning time, this concept of having planning time is so important. And I'm really looking at how it's like a big funnel. I know that many of you heard the Big Rock story about how the professor came into his class and he said, okay, here's big rocks and here's gravel and here's sand and here's water, and we need to fit it into a container that's about this big. How do you do it? Well, you have to put the big rocks in first. And what are the big rocks in our lives? That is an important question to continuously evolve. There isn't really one answer, right? Everybody has what the big rocks are for themselves. I know mine change all the time. What's important to me right now is getting this makeup on, and I am going to have my dress altered this morning for the wedding, which is going to be in Asheville. It's very exciting. Everything that I'm using this morning is experimental, and it's this concept of swiping and going and being able to do this quickly makeup doesn't have to be this big production, but at the same time, you can look in the mirror and be like, oh, I recognize you. I remember who you are. You're pretty cute. I'm trying to teach simple and easy techniques, and every product that's going to be coming out of Genuist is going to be for this purpose of literally like, let's go. How do we get this on quickly and easily? Every technique that I have, I'm really just kind of taking it from all the training and all these amazing makeup artists that I have the privilege of being around. So lucky to have been around the best makeup artists in the world, and I'm still continuously learning, evolving, growing, expanding every technique that I have. And watching with the gift of being around so many talented artists and watching YouTube and all these things, I am constantly blown away by everything that everybody has contributed. These young girls, like, we never had that growing up. It was like the secret society of makeup artistry when I was growing up. Like, oh, how do you become a makeup artist? I didn't even know it was a career. And then how do you learn these techniques? Used to have to fly across the country and train. I had no idea that Eugenia Weston, who is the founder of Sana Cosmetics, she's also Bette Midler's makeup artist, and she has another makeup and brow studio in LA. She's got two of them, and she's an incredible brow artist as well. She's been at it a whole lot longer than I have and endured a lot more things than I have. When I was learning, I was pregnant with Quinn, and I was really like hard and heavy. How do I develop myself to be the best makeup artist? I had to fly to LA, and she had founded Truco Cosmetics, and Truco was an incredible makeup line from Sebastian, for those of you who know what I'm talking about. That brand was just this beautiful brand. Another lesson learned here is if I could find the makeup I want to wear and start with a clean environment so that I can go fast, that would be good. Let's see if this has it in here. Okay, let's do a little bronzer today. Again, this is this experimental and dual-sided. How do you all feel about a dual-sided, whoops, maybe not where it falls out, because again, this is from the lab. How do you feel about a dual-sided compact, right? I just think that makes life, there are not that many out there, and I think that it's just going to make life way easier to be able to have your cheek on one side and, you know, your bronzer on another. There are some that are out there, but I would really like to make it refillable. So it's going to take me a minute to come up with that. You see how fast I'm doing this? We're not aiming for perfection here. I'm aiming to get out the door. My lips are dry. And this is one of these new formulas on the lips that I've been experimenting with. It's from the lab. And they are a gloss, but they're a stain. So they actually stain your lip and leave a glossy finish. Breakthrough in how we apply our makeup is just amazing. So today, I have no idea where my tight liner went. That kind of stinks for me because I need to tight line and I can't find a single pencil. Not one. Not one tight line, and that's gonna stink for me. Looks like I'm gonna have to, I might have left it in the studio when I was filming the other day. And tight lining is so important. It really adds the definition to your base of your lid. Oh well, I'm not gonna mess with it today. Usually, if there's one thing that I do, or the few things, it's brows, even out my skin, tight line, mascara, and lip. And my puppy wants to be on camera this morning. Don't you, Ghosty? Do you want to be on camera? Do you say hello, Ghosty? Let's see, where's my Ghosty? Ghosty, come here. Come here, Ghosty. Say hi to everybody. Oh, if you guys haven't met Ghosty, that's Ghosty. He's my 110-pound Swiss Shepherd. We rescued him. I'm going to use this experimental on my lid. I really love this formula. I love the applicator. I love everything about it. Today I'm just going for a monochromatic look. Sometimes when you're in a hurry, since I'm wearing this bright royal blue, if you looked on a color wheel, orange is on the opposite. It's gonna make your eyes pop out, or make everything complement one another, which is a wonderful, wonderful way. I'm gonna let that dry, because if I put on tiny liner, it's just gonna smudge. I'm gonna use a little bit of, again, this experimental highlighter. It's a concealer slash highlighter, but that's our next thing to tackle. So if you haven't been following, it looks like we have our formula for our liquid shadow. I'm picking the play date this week. I would love for you guys to come into the studio. For everybody who has been in the studio in the past month, you've all been trying the new brow tint, which we need a name for. I'm gonna do a whole separate video just on the purpose of this. If I had it here right now, you'd really be able to see what an impact that makes. Not having my brows filled in, and I didn't even bring one. They're all at the studio. So basically, the definition of our brows is so important, and I am trying to empower people who are not near me. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of videos as we get closer to National Brow Day about how to maintain your own brows. I really think when it comes down to our brow shape, that waxing, there's just too many things that can go wrong. I have story after story of people just like, I just went in to go wax once and my brows got ripped off, and it took me, like another year or two. I just think at the end of the day, you're better off learning how to do it yourself. And I gotta pull my eye tight on this one. The other one I was so much better at. And this is why this is blendable. Is because if you mess it up, like I am doing right now, look at that. I made it really tiny on this side. Now I'm gonna make it thicker on this side because I don't have time. I'm just like y'all. Just like everybody was like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I just mess it up all the time. When you're in a hurry and you're moving fast, it is what happens. This is now my new favorite tester. If I showed you the bag of mascaras, the bag full, I'm talking at least 75 to 100 different formulas, including the Allie's mascara. Why we never made it is because I want to make it in glass. And I think it's way better. I think mascara is way better in glass. But the manufacturer I use couldn't make it in glass. I have to use another manufacturer. And they have not perfected my formula yet. So that Allie's mascara is in the studio. It's in the lab packaging. And we have been working for about a year to get it straight. And this one might even be better than Allie's mascara. We can't call it that because Bobby Brown stole all the miracles, which cracks me up. All right, so if you look, I know it was 10 minutes on camera, but I wanted to share a bunch of things. And my big thing I want to share with you today is look at yourself in the mirror. Just take a couple minutes and look at yourself. Reconnect with your reflection. You just got done with school, getting your kids back to school. And even if you haven't, even if your kids are out, we're all living these busy lives. I'm trying to make your life simpler with solutions and things. I just wanted to come on and say hi. Have a wonderful day. Happy Tuesday. Off to the studio I go. Stay tuned with me on my adventures of getting ready as the mother of the groom for the wedding. All right. Getting the dress off to getting altered today. That is my mission right now, is to go get the dress altered. And then I'm going to have the checklist for what I need to do to prepare myself, because I get to take care of the bride on the wedding day, and my friend Leah is helping me. Lee's coming to help and to do my makeup and be my backup and support for the bride so that everybody's taken care of. So I'll be sharing more about that, but bye for now.